Hey there everyone, I'm Michael, and welcome to another ShiftOS development update. That's right, I'm back in action creating more videos on ShiftOS. My last video showed off the Unite dev update, and I'd highly recommend seeing that if you want to find out a big announcement to do with Let's Explore and Project Unite. But for now, let's look at the latest version of ShiftOS 1.0 Beta 2. This has been a long-awaited version, and we have a bit of an announcement to make regarding OpenGL and DirectX. As you can see, we're in Windows Forms right now. The reason is, OpenGL was a bit of a big project for me and the rest of the development team. We pretty much got it working until a certain point. The desktop was working fine, but applications were not. And it became increasingly difficult to port applications as we went. And then I decided to create a compositing window manager for OpenGL, and it was basically suffered a fate that Microsoft Longhorn did. It was just crammed with loads of new features, and it got so unstable and so hard to work with that we basically scrapped and went back to our Windows Forms version. So that's what happened. There's no composition in this version, there's no OpenGL, it's good old ShiftOS Beta 1.x, but with Beta 2 features. Anyways, let's get on with this. So, as you can see, the terminal, I think I've actually shown this off in a previous video, so I'm not going to show off the syntax highlighting. But there are some new commands. First one, we have shiftorium.categories, and that lists off all the categories that have new upgrades that you can buy. And there are new applications and upgrades that I can buy in my shiftorium. So whenever you do shiftorium.categories, you get a list of not all the categories in the system, but all the categories that you have available to you. Now with categories in Beta 2, now I'll be posting a wiki entry to this on Project Unite. Categories basically offer a way to categorize shiftorium upgrades in the engine. And what we can do is, when we implement story, we can basically do things like, okay, has the player installed every GUI upgrade? Okay, well, let's execute this story if it hasn't occurred yet. And that's basically why that's there. And it's also a good way to sort the shiftorium graphical user interface frontend. As we will soon see, there are some new features with that. Anyways, let's open our shiftorium by going to the app launcher and, of course, utilities, and then shiftorium. So, as you can see, some new user interface tweaks. We've got up top, we are in the applications category. If we click this button right here, we get the UI category, and we've got an upgrade called Shiftorium GUI Bulk Buy, 3000 code points. And this allows us to select multiple upgrades in the Shiftorium graphical user interface, and we can buy them. So if I click buy, we've got no upgrades in this, and that's a weird bug. It's not supposed to do that. Oh well. We've got two upgrades in this applications category. We have format editor and ShiftOS. Those are two new applications, and we can click ShiftOS, and then we can use our Shift key to select format editor, and we can buy them both. We can also use the control key and click to select new upgrades, or we can, that's a weird bug, it's not supposed to do that, or we can click and drag. As you can see, it's selected the two upgrades. So let's buy these new applications, ShiftOS and format editor, and we'll have a look at them. Now we get new GUI upgrades, AL ShiftOS and AL format editor. We also get another category, enhancements and format editor optional text. Let's buy that. And now we have format editor regular expressions. Let's buy that. And then we have format editor syntax highlighting. Let's buy that. As you can see, I'm quite impulsive with my ShiftOS upgrades and buying them. But let's buy these two app launcher entries. And now we have no upgrades in our ShiftOS. We've bought all the ShiftOS upgrades that are coming in beta 2. So, if we go to our application launcher, and we go to games, we have a new game called, not graphics, games, we have a new game called ShiftOS, and this was contributed by Discord and Project Unite user AShifter. It's basically a lottery system. You bet code points, you select a difficulty, and based on that difficulty, you can win code points, and you can win lots of code points doing this. There's a catch, though, and I'm not going to go over that catch. You'll have to find that out for yourself. Anyways, that's the ShiftOS. It's pretty simple. I'm not going to go into it, because I think I've shown it off already. But now there's a ShiftOS upgrade for it. If we go to customization, we now have the format editor in the list, and if we open it, format editor was created by ShiftOS developer PFG, and fun fact, she has been with us since 0.0.x, so yeah, she's pretty good with ShiftOS. But let's note our current terminal command syntax. We have our namespace with a period, and then our command, an open curly brace, argument name, argument value. And each argument is separated by a comma, and to end arguments, we add a closing curly brace. That command goes through, we get the ShiftOS definition for MUD fundamentals. But we can use format editor to customize the syntax of the terminal. So what we can do is we can add text, regex text, or optional text, but we do have to add the namespace first. We'll add the namespace. So pretty simple. Then we can add some text. Would help if I click it, and we will add a space followed by 2 dashes, and we'll try to recreate the Linux style of commands, aka bash. Then we'll add the command. Again, I need to click it. Then we'll add text. We'll add a space. Then we'll add the argument, and then add another space. And this tests the limits of this syntax editor, because I haven't actually done bash-like in a while. We'll add the value, and this is a bit of a bug. We'll have to fix that. And then we need to add a second argument and value pair, because the way ShiftOS works is there's optional text between 2 commands. So we'll just do that. Of course, I'm not using any optional text whatsoever in this syntax line. Now we've added all the mandatory things that we need to. So if we hit save, we can save this syntax file to our file system, and we'll create a bash and I believe that's .cf, so command format. That makes sense. So we'll call it bash.cf. Then we can hit apply, and much like in the skin loader, it will actually load this command, or this command format, into the system. So now if we do shiftorium.info, actually we can just do that. You'll see that there is a syntax error, even though above that command worked perfectly. But if we do shiftorium-info, upgrade MUD fundamentals, you'll see that the command goes through. So the format editor is a pretty cool thing, because what you can do is you could even make it act like Windows and the command prompt. You could make it look or act however you want. So that's one of the new skinning features in Beta 2, the ability to fully customize commands in the terminal. So that is it for skinning, I believe, and new applications. Shift Sweeper's got a bit of a UI upgrade, but I think I went over that previously. The mud chat has been deactivated due to a major bug, so you can't use the mud chat, but everything else in the mud does work. So if we go to the ShiftNet, it'll crash because I think I broke something. Yeah, I definitely broke something. We got a null reference in there, so that happens. Oh well. The out-of-box experience has actually been fixed in this release. So you can log into your account, you can register new accounts. The tutorial no longer crashes. I've done some optimizations to make it run a little bit better. I'm not going to say a lot better, I'm going to say a little bit better. There's still more that I gotta do. But the tutorial and everything is working. It's working flawlessly, and I've also fixed some bugs with the window manager before you get free placement. When you have 4 windows open, it actually displays them in a 2x2 grid. When you have 2 windows open, it displays in a 1x1 grid vertically, sort of like AeroSnap does. And if you have 1 open, it displays in full screen. And if you have 3 open, it displays 2 at the top and 1 at the bottom, extra wide. So that's how that works. I can't show that off in this version, but I do have another save that has that set up. Anyways, I've been Michael. I will see you guys in the next video.